Hello everyone. So I just finished up work and I had an interesting day. I have an employee who is just the biggest pain in the ass you could ever imagine. This guy is just, he's one of those kind of people who he is never wrong and everyone else is. And he just will literally drive you crazy during the day. And today was one of those days, even though now it's to the point where he's just so judgy that him just being there makes you feel like he's judging everything I do. So anyway, it's nice to be able to tell a group of people how bad this guy is and how much of a pain in the ass he is. You know, he's one of those people that there's no notes in the system on this customer. And at the same time, you'll go to find a machine that he's been dealing with, and there's no notes in that thing either. And he's one of those two. Also, if you tell him something about it, he just wants to bitch and complain and argue and try to make himself right and twist the conversation around, and it just is so frustrating sometimes. And here lately, he's been late and missing a lot of time, so. I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen with this guy, but it isn't looking good for him. If he's looking for a job, let me know. In the Fairfax County, Fairfax, Virginia area, because I think we may be looking for someone here to replace this guy. And then the other thing is I wanted to talk about is a lot of times, and I don't set enough boundaries with this guy, but I'm just tired of wasting my time with him because I've tried to explain to him the situation and how procedures work and things, and he thinks that he's sort of above procedures or that they don't always apply to him. So I'm setting boundaries in the fact that I'm just not wasting a lot of time with some of these people. You know, I have friends or had friends that are huge MAGA supporters and even took part in the January 6th rally and insurrection. And I've just had to have boundaries of like, I can't be friends or associate myself with you because of your beliefs. And, you know, if there were past elections where they didn't really matter as much, and it wasn't about stripping away people's rights. You know, when Bush was president and Nixon was president and Reagan was president and the other Bush was president, it just wasn't the same as it is now. And, you know, us LGBTQ people, we're being discriminated against and our rights are being threatened every single day. And I just can't be friends with someone who votes for that type of administration. I mean, you have every right to vote for whoever you want to, and I have every right to be friends with who I want to be. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of voice my opinion about this guy at work that's completely driving me nuts, and about the fact that I have friends that, and family too, I've just come to the conclusion that they're not worth wasting my time. I've tried and made an effort, and all it does is make me feel bad about myself, and then about people of the LGBT community that I know, if I'm, you know, letting these people into my life, that I should, if they're not threatening me directly, then they're threatening, you know, the community that I belong to and feel so strongly about, and feel so strongly about protecting, because we're all in this together, you know. And if you're bashing transgendered people, then you're bashing me. If you're bashing a bisexual person, you're bashing me, because we all need these rights. And people say, well, why do you need a Pride Month, or why do you need a flag? Because we have to show people that we're not going away, and that we're not going to go silent, and that we were discriminated against, and our rights are being taken away. I mean, it's no different than what the blacks have gone through, or the Black Americans have gone through, and what other races, Asians, Jewish people, you know, we all experience it. And if we don't have a way to celebrate our existence, then a lot of these bigots and racists would just as soon us shut up and never open our mouth about it again. And we can't let that happen. And so That's why I've been displaying my pride, my gay pride, more in the last few months than I have in a long time, if ever. And I will continue. And I'm not going to be silenced. And I'm not pushing it, throwing it in your face. I'm just saying I'm a person. I have rights, as well as all LGBTQ people, as well as all Americans. We all have rights, right? We all have the same rights, or we should. And the unfortunate part is this administration is trying to make it so that we don't. And that's not right. So anyway, I'm not gonna get too crazy serious, but I'm actually off on Saturday this week, so I only have 2 more days to go for work. I'm going camping again this weekend. I'm actually going to Watermelon Park in Berryville, Virginia. It's right on the river, the Shenandoah River. So I'm excited about that because we just came from the mountains. It also is a park with a lot of history. It's places where George Jones and Flatt and Scruggs and Patsy Cline and Johnny Cash and June Carter Cash, a lot of country singers have performed there over the years. It started out as a watermelon farm, watermelon patch, where the farmer decided to grow watermelons and sell them at a roadside stand out on the main road where his farm was back in the 30s, 40s, 50s. And it just became such a popular place that they started having music festivals, and one thing led to another, and people like George Jones and, like I said, Patsy Cline and Flatt and Scruggs, all those people came to sing. They started having bluegrass festivals, and so I don't think any of that goes on there now necessarily, but it'd be kind of cool to go to a spot where that used to go on. So, and maybe there'll be some history there. Like I said, it's on the river, so I'm looking forward to that. It's supposed to be really humid again, but my air conditioner does a great job in my trailer. I have to say, it's really great. So anyway, just wanted to throw all that out there. It's kind of a mixed bag of stuff, but that's kind of my days, a very mixed bag of stuff. And my life's kind of a mixed bag of stuff, which is very good. I'm very busy these days, and I have a great life, and that's due to sobriety. I have been almost, I haven't noticed, but I think my glasses are crooked. Anyway, I hate these glasses. I need new ones. But my life being sober is what's made all this possible, and made it so that I can recover from a bad day at work, or somewhat of a bad day, or a bad customer, or a bad employee, or whatever the case is. Used to be I had to get down, let myself get down, and treat myself badly because I would say it was all my fault, and and that sort of thing. But I'm not doing that anymore. At least not as much. I do it for a little bit at a time occasionally, but I'm just like, you know what? I'm not going to be that way today. I'm not going to feel sad. I'm not going to be angry at myself or mean to myself, because most of the time it's not my fault, and usually all the time with these things. So sobriety's the way to go. I know if you're struggling, anybody out there is struggling with sobriety, it definitely is the way to go. This is the first time in nearly 20 years I have not had a drop of alcohol in almost 12 months. And it's the best thing ever. Alcohol is such a poison. There's a few, health benefits from drinking wine, but you have to be careful with that too, because it has pesticides and all sorts of chemicals in it. If you don't get organic wine, and you don't get, other than that, though, most alcohol is pretty poisonous, and it's just not good for you. So I know people think, well, you have fun on alcohol. Yeah, you think you are, until the next day you wake up and you're either in jail, or you've done something you regret, or you don't remember what happened, or what you did, or what you said, or if you took your clothes off, or you ran around naked, or whatever. You just don't know. So anyway, but sobriety's it. So anybody out there struggling, hang in there. And I know it's not easy. Like I said, I do it 5 minutes at a time, just because I don't want to look at it day to day. I just want to get through 5 minutes and 10 minutes and 15 minutes and an hour, and then another hour, and that sort of thing. So, but anyway, hope everybody's having a great day, or had a great day. Like I said, it's my Tuesday today, even though it's Wednesday for most everyone else. And I've only got 2 more days to go this week. And next week, I'm really excited because I only have to work 2 days. We get a lot of time off at Dyson, which is fantastic, right? We get a lot of time. Dyson's a great company. They are so inclusive, a great place to work, and they give us a lot of time off. It can be stressful, but any job can be stressful. Anyway, so next week I'm going to Shenandoah Valley Campground in Verona, Virginia with some of my family, which I'm excited, for 4 days. So I'll be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It is also on the river, and I can't remember what river it is. We went last year and had a great time. They have a beautiful waterfall there at the river. And I mean, it's amazing. You get underneath the waterfall and let the water run all over top of you. It was incredible. It was 100 degrees last year there. I floated down the river too, and that's where I burnt my head so bad with the sun. I even had a baseball cap on, but it was a mesh cap. I burnt my head so bad that it has now become precancerous, and I had to go to the dermatologist and they had to freeze it off. So whatever you do, and I have learned, I now have one of those big floppy sun hats, right? And I don't care how, give a shit what I look like. I gotta protect my scalp and my other skin, but because you don't want that to happen. But I'm excited because then that's the next trip. And that's for 4 days, and then I'm taking the next Saturday off even again to go to, I think it's Big Meadows or Sky Meadows National Forest, near where I live, about a half an hour, 45 minutes from where I live. And so the only problem with that is going to be, and I may ask my uncle and his girlfriend, who I consider my aunt, to keep my dogs, because we'll have no air conditioning. It's all boondocking. I'm okay with the heat and I can survive in the heat, but both of my dogs are Shih Tzus and they are not good with excessive heat. Especially I have one that's 14 going on 15. So I may ask them to keep them, and I may go dogless that weekend. I always miss them when they're gone, but I don't want to put them through having to be in my trailer and being outside. You know, I like being outside, and I have that little portable fan, and so it makes it great for the, you know, for the heat. I don't mind, especially if I'm in the shade. But not for them. So anyway, I'll have to see. But anyway, that's I'm taking that Saturday off, so that'll be a Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and that's up in the woods, up in the mountains, kind of on the national forest. So excited for that as well. And then my next trip after that, I think, is back to the Poconos in Pocono, Pennsylvania, and that's the gay campground called Camp Out Poconos. I'll be there for 4 days as well. Again, I got more days off for Dyson. I got three weeks off this year for Dyson. I just started last year, so. And then after that, I don't remember having much scheduled after that in August until the second week in September after Labor Day. I'm going back to Cape Charles at the Katopke State Park there to camp for, I think, 4 or 5 days at the state park. So that's what I have planned so far. I can't wait to maybe do a Halloween somewhere in October, and another trip or two, either in August maybe or September, and then I may even take a trip the 1st of November, depending on the weather. Maybe back to somewhere where the leaves are going to be really super nice. So camping is just my total. I have a great therapist, and therapy is so good. And actually, I have a therapy session this Monday. But and she's fantastic. She is really one of the best therapists I have met, and I have met a lot of them. She is super fantastic. But my next best therapy is camping, and camping for me is it's just so fantastic. So I looked about getting a drone, right? And anybody out there has any suggestions about a drone? I'm not spending hundreds and thousands of dollars on one, because I'll probably wreck it, crash it, lose it. But for photography and taking pictures and videos, I really want to get a drone, because I think that would be so cool. So anybody has any suggestions about a drone that you can give me, or links to them or whatever, that'd be great. I mean, I'm looking to spend a couple $100s or less just on this first one until I get used to it, and then I'll move up. But so I just love taking videos and photos and just sharing those with people, you know, and doing campsite reviews. I love doing those. They're so much fun. I've had about 400 people that have reviewed the campsite reviews that I've done on RV Life. And I've had people tell me that it really has helped them choose a campsite, whether they would come or not, or whether they even knew about the campsite. So that's really exciting for me. It's fun to help people, and you know, and just share my adventures and my fun. So anyway, enough about rambling. I'm a big rambler, if you haven't noticed. But anyway, so I'll get home about, see, it's telling me 6:25. It's 5:16 now, so a little more than an hour and 15 minutes. Traffic's pretty typical today, I think, from what I can see. Anyway, anybody has any comments? I love to hear comments, good or bad. I take scrutiny very well. I don't really take things to heart. You know, I've been in sales a long time, and when people tell you no, they're not buying your stuff, or no, you're sucky at your job, or no, I don't like the way you told me that, or no, you don't, you know, I've had many years of being told no. So I don't take a lot to heart. Only when my human rights are being mess with or whatever, then I kind of get a little feisty about that. But most everything else, I'm like, take that on stride, or you can learn from people. So good and bad, you know. People say nasty things to me, I'm like, well, I learned never to talk like that, right? Unless I absolutely have to or whatever. You can learn from people no matter what they're telling you, right? You can always learn if you want to be around that person or not, because if they and I've heard this a lot, that if they're telling you, you know, who they're showing who they really truly are, then take them at their word, because that's who they will be. So yeah, so after that, I'll call it a video, and I'll talk to you guys later, and have a great evening. See ya.